welcome to Netizen News, a show that fills you in on all the happenings across Chinese social media. A heated debate has been sparked off across Chinese social media sites as a result of China's controversial expulsion of a French journalist. Chinese authorities refused to renew the visa of Ursula Gauthier after she wrote an article in November 2015 for the French magazine L'Obs, which heavily criticized China's treatment of its predominantly Muslim Uyghur population in the country's western area of Xinjiang. Her article argued that the outbreaks of violence in the region, such as bomb and knife attacks, were triggered by China's repression of the Uyghur ethnic minority. Gauthier further suggested China was showing solidarity with France after the November Paris attacks in order to gain public approval for its own endeavors to crack down on separatist uprisings amongst the ethnic minority. The article caused outrage in China. China's Ministry of Foreign Affairs accused the reporter's article of supporting acts of terrorism and acts of cruelly killing innocent civilians and urged her to apologize. The MFA spokesperson Liu Kang said that although she has worked for a long time in China, Gauthier had regularly criticized China on a variety of matters, and it was only now that she was facing expulsion. He also said that although she may think that her visa is not being reviewed because the country oppresses freedom of expression, he wants to remind her that 300 foreign media organizations exist in China, and there are 611 journalists, 610 of them who will get their visas renewed. Gauthier was heavily blasted in the state media and even claimed to have received death threats, to which the MFA questioned why she had not reported these incidents to the police. Gauthier refused to apologize, putting forth that you cannot ask me to apologize for something I have not written and something I did not think. As a result, the correspondent was obliged to leave the country on December 31st when her visa expired. So, what do netizens make of the story?
Well, it seems that the great majority of Chinese netizens agree with the actions of China's Ministry of Foreign Affairs. In fact, an online survey by the website huanqu.com found out that 94% of participating 210,000 netizens were in favor of Gauthier's expulsion. In particular, some feel that the article was insensitive to the victims of the violent outbreaks in Xinjiang, whereas others feel insulted that a foreign journalist would present such a negative portrayal of their country. For example, one netizen argues that if a foreign journalist offends the Chinese government, he or she may be right or wrong. But if the foreign reporter offends Chinese people, then he or she is definitely wrong because it is our country. We live here, and we definitely know more about the country than others do. Several netizens also accuse Gauthier's piece of harboring terrorist sentiments. For example, one social media user has commented that China protests the rights and interests of foreign journalists, but the Chinese government and people will by no means tolerate the speaking in favor of terrorism. Likewise, Gauthier has been branded a hypocrite by netizens for refusing to acknowledge that the attacks in Xinjiang as acts of terror, unlike the atrocities that occurred in French capital in November last year. Hence, Wei Heng writes that a journalist with double standards does not have the right to criticize China's national anti-terror policies. However, there is a minority of netizens who do argue that the Chinese authorities overreacted to this matter. For example, one social media user comments that whether this is right or wrong is just her own words. Why does China have to behave like this? Dongxin also puts forth that everyone should be allowed to express their own opinions. Will Xinjiang really become independent just because of a line of words?
The country's expulsion of Gauthier raises many questions about the limitations of journalism in China. So does this incident signal a warning to foreign correspondents, or is Gauthier's case exceptional? Well, on the 1st of January, the delegation of the European Union released a statement on its Weibo account following Gauthier's expulsion, which reinforced its support for freedom of expression as well as the importance of independence of media, and asked the Chinese government to reconsider their decision. So, what are netizens making about these issues?
Well, yes, there has been fervent discussion on those matters, saying that the majority of China's social media users were in favor of the French journalist's expulsion. There are many netizens out there who argue that members of the media should not take advantage of their freedom of expression in order to present outrageous or dangerous opinions. For example, one netizen remarks that so many people highlight the principle of freedom of expression. They think that the freedom of expression is the same as irresponsibly talking about rubbish. The same idea is echoed by another netizen who writes that you are a journalist, you have the freedom to report, but you are not entitled to start rumors.
Okay, well, that's all we have time for today. So, was Gauthier promoting terrorism? Did she deserve to be punished? Or was China's reaction uncalled for and unjustified? Let us know what you think on Twitter. Thanks for watching.